morning, everybody. I'm Asiyah Imran, a student of UK Photography Academy, batch 2024. Today, I'll be taking us on lighting and lightning technique. Sorry, I said lighting and lighting technique. There's nothing like lighting in photography, it's lighting. First of all, I'd like to discuss what is light because without light, there's nothing like photography. Just from the word photography, which means photo and graphy, which means light painting. Light is a very important element in photography. And also, light is an electromagnetic spectrum, which is called visible light. I'm sure you know the electromagnetic spectrum. We have the radio, we have the microwave, but that's what we're talking about today. So visible light is what we can see, and that's what we use in photography to create our image. So we have properties of light. We have lights can refract, can reflect, can diffuse, and can transmit. And then the main properties or characteristics of light that is very useful for us in our photography, it's in this acronym we have the D, I, C, C, and H. We have the D, which means direction. This is the positioning of our light to our object or to the model. Then we have the intensity. Basically, this is the power of light and it is measured in wattage, like how sharp or how hard the light is. That's intensity. Then we have color. Our lights can have different colors. The light from the sun has this like this yellow, or how I say it, just seeing it, and then we have white light, and then we can use gel or other materials to like create a nice color with our light. Then we have the contrast. Like let me just say how beautiful our light can be, and then the hardness, how harsh the light is. Like this light is a diffuse light because like it uses a translucent object to prevent the harshness of light reaching us. So also we have light, we have the natural light and the artificial light. But going forward, I'll still discuss the artificial light. But, I'll discuss the artificial light later on. Yeah. But the natural light, we have the sunlight, we have the moonlight, and then the artificial light, we have the studio light, and then some other materials. So I will start talking about lighting technique now because to get a beautiful image, you have to position your model, your light, the camera very well. So let's dive into the main topic, light technique. So the first of all is like the beauty and the butterfly lighting technique. That's also called on camera setting. Basically, this you have your model at the middle. You have your cameraman here, and you have your light here too at 6 o'clock. You have your model, you have the camera at 6 o'clock, you have the photographer at 6 o'clock. Basically, the light is facing the model directly, and this gives a flat image. A flat image is an image that is not interesting, that doesn't have that has too much shadow, doesn't have shadow at all. So that's it for butterfly. And then it's called butterfly because like when you take pictures using this technique, you have this like butter like this, but is it bottom of the butterfly under your nose? So now I'm going on to the loop light technique. It's called a loop because the shadow is trying to fit in into the image. So at this one, I will still have our model here. Our photographer is still at 6 o'clock, but then the light is at 5 o'clock. This also produces a flat image also, and it's not really advisable to use this kind of light technique. Then the next one I'll go to now is Rembrandt. I know Rembrandt, where did this name come from? It's basically the name of a man. When he was painting, he used to have this signature of a triangle under one side of the face. So we still have our model here. Our cameraman is still here, but now we move the light to 4 o'clock. So when you take image using this type of light technique, you have this kind of triangle picture. I like this kind of triangle. Like, is it light something? But it gives this a triangular shape of the face on one side of the face. Sometimes you can have like almost like one side will be very dark, one side will be very bright. So now you bring in a few lights to brighten up, so it will be too dark, and then you can still see the product of what you can still see the signature or the triangle under the face. Then after the Rembrandt, I'll talk about the splits. So now our model is still here. Our photographer is at 6 o'clock. Our light, our camera is at, the light is at 3 o'clock. So this gives you like one side is dark, like it splits the object or the model into two. They have a very dark and then a bright object. It creates like message, like fear, mystery, and so many other stuff that it creates. It just gives you this like a cinematic or like it just tells a story basically. So when you have this, sometimes you can have the objects at this side might be too dark, then you can use a fill light at this side too, just to brighten it up a bit, but then still creating you're still creating the split image. Then after the split, I'll talk about silhouette. But you see, we have a camera, a light at three. We don't put light at one and two because you cannot back you cannot put your key light at one and two because you cannot back the model. So now for this silhouette, our light is at 12 o'clock because we're trying to create like a more or less like a black and white image where the object is standing like black and then the background is white, just telling a picture without seeing the actual person's face or just telling a story, conveying a message. So that's silhouette. So that's all about lighting technique. And then the next one I'll go about is talk about is light, names of light. I know I mentioned key light, I mentioned fill light, I mentioned okay, I think then we have the rim light, we have the air light, and then we have the ring light. So the key light is the main light that the main light that lightens up our object. It like faces the object or depending on the position, it has more power over the fill light. Fill light is just to like cover up the shadows or close up all the shadows or just create a nice image also, not making the image too dark or too bright. But this always has a lower, fill light always has a lower intensity than the key light. Then we have the air light. This is just to create a nice artistic an artistic view on the model, like just having like a yellow or something, just trying to bring out something different, something unique. So you can use the air light, and then if you have it like a dark person and then you want to create a very nice, you can use like a white hair light, you can use different things for it. Then also we have the background light. So this background light mainly when you're taking an object, like we're all wearing dark now, and we want to take a picture with a dark background. It's better for us to put a background light to differentiate her clothing and then to differentiate us from the background. Because if you take it without a background light, it like kind of absorb you into the background. So I think that's more about light. There are other kind of lights. We have the ring lights and everything. But before I close up, I would like to talk about modifiers. Basically, these are devices that help to control light. You see, we have this. You're wondering what is this? These are light modifiers. They help us to control our lights. They control the quality, the quantity, and the direction. Basically, that's what our light modifiers do. So just look at what I'll be explaining it as I'm picking them up. This is a soft box and it has a diffuser in it. Let me So this is a soft box. This is our studio lights. This is just to create like it's just to light up our object. This one has like a power of 300. There are some with 400, which okay, so this is our studio light. I said this is the soft box. This is like an octagonal soft box because of the shape, and then this is a diffuser. It's used to reduce the intensity, the harshness of light, to soften her light. So I use the like you use your hand to position how you want your light to be. They are adjustable. You can position it how you want it to give you. Like depending on the lighting technique you're using, that's how you position your light. And then so it's always advisable to keep your light like 3 centimeters, or like way above your image. If you have a very good studio background, like a very big studio setup, like a warehouse, it's always advisable to keep your light very way above your subjects. So this is this. Then we have the beauty dish. I'm sure you've been seeing so many model pictures online. We use the beauty dish to create a very nice effect for portrait photography. It has an honeycomb. This creates the nice effects on the face. Okay, so I said light, I said natural light, I said artificial light. This is part of the artificial light. This is a continuous light. You know, studio light only operates when you trigger. It has like this trigger sensor that when you slave it together, it's when you take a picture, it activates. So this is a continuous light. It works like continuously, like this doesn't need the trigger or something, it keeps working. Then this is also a studio light. It's the same with this one here. This is not a continuous light. It works with trigger. So this is a reflective cone. It helps like direct our object, like direct our light to a particular distance. You know, when you have light, like this kind of light now, it's diffusing, like it's every omnidirectional. But then when you use this one, it's kind of position direct your light to where you want it to be. So this is a soft box, but this one is it holding this soft box? But also it helps you to like soften your light. You put your studio light here, and then when the light passes through here, it gives it a soft light. Then I have my reflector. What do you think a reflector is? I said light reflects, it transmits, and then it diffuses. A reflector basically helps you to reflect, bounce light back to your image, depending on how you position it. I can use okay if you like if you can see Bentley now. Once I position my this thing, you see the reflector. It's like it reflects light to his face. So that's what the reflector is. It's very good for portrait photography. It's like helps you to reflect light to the face and then gives this very nice picture, very nice like a very nice artistic face. So I'm wrapping up right now. Like basically, I've spoken about everything, and then this is like a light a soft light. No, sorry, this is a light bracket. Is this for speed lights? Like position your speed light, and then you can also place it on a stand, and then still rotate it, and then give it still all part of our light modifiers or devices used with light modifiers. So I think to wrap up everything, I've said light technique. I think I would wrap up my presentation from here. And I think I've been able to justify light and lighting technique. And please don't forget, it is lighting, not lightning. Thank you so much.